Good morning. It is 9:46 a.m. on Sunday, January 2nd, 2022. I'm Christiana Ellis and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. I've actually been stuck on social media a little bit before starting the video. You know, just, you know, I, obviously I think doom scrolling is a term that most people who are internet savvy are familiar with by now. And I think it's a very apt phrase in the sense that it describes a real phenomenon. Um, but I think it's also like not all scrolling is doom scrolling, if you follow me. I could look at the camera instead of my own preview image. I think that there is such a thing as doom scrolling, and specifically, it's when you are looking for endless refreshes on news about a dire subject. But I think that the semi-mindless search for novelty that is also typified by our social media preferences is something different than doom scrolling, right? I think so. In any case, that's what I was doing, not doom scrolling, but rather idling. One thing that I believe that I have discovered, I've mentioned sort of tangentially a couple of times that I've been investigating some dietary slash digestive things in the last little while because I have noticed a change in some of my body's habits and behaviors that I'm not going to get into because, nobody wants to hear about some of that stuff. But at the same time, looking into the various things that it might be related to, I believe that I have come to a conclusion that one of the things is high fructose corn syrup, which is like it's that classic bogeyman of the chemical diet and all that, right? But I think that it is also nonetheless one of the things that when I have a bunch of that or a bunch of something that has that in it, I observe the symptoms, and when I don't, I don't. But at the same time, I was discussing this with my mom because she has discovered for herself that the chemical family known as FODMAPs have an effect on her. And I think that that's, a lot of people are sort of discovering that that seems to describe their symptoms better than other types of things like, gluten sensitivity and so on. But one of the things that it can produce in stymieing our ability to diagnose those things carefully, is that it's not necessarily one thing that is especially bad and everything else is fine. It's more a matter of lots of things have at least a little bit of these chemicals, and it's not that even having a little bit will be a problem so much as it's a little bit like carrying around a bucket. Yeah, and you get a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit here and a little bit there, and it's not necessarily that one thing fills the whole bucket, but you fill the bucket with all of the other stuff, and you are seeing no symptoms, no symptoms, no symptoms, no symptoms until the bucket is full. But the last thing that put it over the top might not be like the worst offender. But, just thinking back on, trying to look for clues in my diet, like tracking, like what did I eat versus how am I feeling? I think high fructose corn syrup might be on the list. Also mangoes, which is disappointing because I like mangoes, but that was another one where the symptoms followed promptly upon my eating some sliced mangoes that I got from the grocery store. These things are complicated. But, like self-knowledge is good. So studying and being careful and mindful of what you eat and paying attention to these sorts of things in order to better understand how your body reacts to the things that you put in it every day, that's all a positive thing, I think. So I'm going to be continuing to investigate those things and drinking my tea. And I will talk to you all tomorrow for 5 more minutes.